There is no more fundamentally American story than the trans story. Who are we if not assigned British at birth? And then we literally fought a war to come up with our identity.
Creativity is really problem solving. It's having a wall in front of you and figuring out all these ways to pretend that that wall wasn't there.
It just breaks you open to become a mom. It is the most vulnerable thing. It shows you all the unhealed parts of yourself. I just want to be my most realized self because I want that for her.
I no longer work for this company. I now work for RWS. I didn't say I own it because I thought who was going to trust a 21-year-old? The next day I woke up, he said, would you come in and do the pitch?
Imposter syndrome, it always happens because we're growing and doing new things. And I think we need to look at it as a signal so that we don't hold back anymore.
It lifted me up and it made me understand that there's things that we can sometimes never really get past. Most of the time when I came out of a room, I didn't know what I said, but I felt better.
What people think happens after you die, the answer to that question will tell you how somebody lives. My life has been changed dramatically because of how I view that.
Look, we're going to show this administration what happens when you kick out a bunch of highly motivated badasses and you don't expect it to come back and bite you in the butt.
We have to encourage young people not to participate in that erasure by ignoring the advice of elders.
That's the cover quote. Hi, I'm Jim Fielding. Welcome to Ask for an Answer. Hello, kind, curious, and talented human beings. Welcome to this episode of Ask for an Answer with Jim Fielding. It's just me, solo Jim, because this is the end of season 2. This is our last podcast of season 2, episode number 32. Unbelievable season that started with recordings in studio in Los Angeles and ended with the episode that debuted on July 30th with Marie Harf. I'm super proud of the season, and I'm really excited to share this recap with you and a little sneak peek of what's coming. So if you're new here, I first off want to welcome you. If you have been with me since the first season, you know the deal by now. This show runs on one stubborn belief. The smartest move a leader can make is to ask better questions, then get quiet enough to actually hear answers. Season 2 handed me 31 amazing conversations that tested whether I believe my own premise. And guess what? I do. Honestly, more now than I did when we started. So today is intentionally different. No single guest in the chair. Instead, 3 things this season taught me, told through the people who taught them to us. After that, I owe you some straight talk and insights about where I'm headed for the next month. And then I want to show you what's coming in September. So let's get into it. The first lesson, how you walk in decides what the room becomes. I used to think leadership started the moment I opened my mouth. Season 2 broke that apart. The people I admired most this year walked in ready to be changed, not ready to win. That is a completely different posture. That is approach, the first move in how I think about all of this.
Architecture is all about like creating a space that's comfortable for people. And I was like, that's so interesting. And so the idea that people say, you know what, screw this. I don't want to pay any more attention. I'm not going to follow the news anymore. I'm not going to pay any attention because it's just too annoying and I just don't want to hear about it anymore. I think that that's a shirking of our responsibility as people that have been given an enormous privilege.
Jeremy Hobson built a whole show around the people the loudest rooms often ignore. Watch what that takes. You have to believe the person across from you is worth the airtime before they have said anything impressive. That is not soft. That is the hardest discipline I know of.
I think it was getting to a place of healing that I could return and deal with the stuff that still existed there, the people that were still there, that then I had to engage with from a higher level. Like I had to evolve to be able to hold space. And I think it's been really healing, honestly.
That's great.
It's been positive.
Olivia Jordan has walked into rooms wearing a crown and walked into rooms with nothing but a second chance. She told me that the confidence people see is the part you rebuild each time after it breaks. I keep coming back to that. We do not always walk in whole. We walk in willing, and willing is enough. Lesson 2, the questions that matter most will cost you something personally. Surfacing what is real is easy to admire and very, very hard to do. The honest question will not let you stay comfortable. It will not let the room stay vague.
We as Democrats need to figure out a way to make the Trump and Republican corruption tangible for people.
Yes.
Why does it impact your kitchen table issues, right? Why is all this money that he's making hurting average Americans? That's a harder case to make.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that we need to demonstrate in some way that's not just anti-Trump,
Mm-hmm.
how what he's broken matters.
Marie Harf works in rooms where every question is a landmine. What she taught me is that clarity is a kindness. Naming the hard thing plainly without heat gives everyone else permission to stop pretending. They are not the same thing. If you only ask questions you already know the answer to, you are not leading. You are performing and you are auditioning. And lesson 3, what you keep is what you become. Anybody can start. The people I respect are the ones still choosing the thing on every ordinary Tuesday when nobody is around to watch or clap for them.
Just getting cast in anything is a miracle,
Yeah.
you know? And like I read for 2 different characters on this show, and ultimately I ended up getting the one that was meant to be for me. And I had so much fun playing him, and I had so much fun with the cast.
Gerardo Salasco calls it working the craft, not the premiere, not the applause, the repetitions. He reminded me that the parts of my own work I am most proud of were never the launches. They were the mornings I showed up before there was any proof it would matter to anyone else in the world.
I put together this proposal for $200,000 and I sent it in, and John said, "You need to come in next week to present." Went in, presented in Times Square. As I finished, I said, "Thank you to everyone. I look forward to hearing from you." And I walked down the hall. John came running after and said, "Ryan, you have the gig."
Ryan Stana went from $600 a week to 7 offices around the world. The number people miss is not the 7. It is the every week in between that he never quit. Keeping going is not glamorous. It is just what building actually looks like from the inside.
There's all these people that say excellence requires suffering. And what I found in my research and reporting is that you do have to be a badass to be great at whatever you do. You have to put in long hours. You have to work hard. You have to care deeply. You have to be committed. And the only way all of that's going to be sustainable is if you also can learn to smile and have fun and experience joy. The times in my own life when I have been closest to burnout and I have not felt good are when I lose touch with fun.
Brad Stolberg said the quiet part out loud on our podcast. The suffering is not the point. We built a whole culture that treats exhaustion like some kind of weird credential. He makes the case that the people who last are the ones who found the joy in it. I believe in him completely, and I believe in what he says. And by the way, I have the receipts from doing it the other way, the wrong way. You might have caught the pattern: approach, surface, keep. 3 words I've been living inside for 2 years because they are the spine of my next book. I'm going to hold the title a little bit longer to tease you, but what I will tell you is that the kind of book I am writing is special. It's not a stack of tactics. It's not 10 steps to a better quarter. It is a leadership philosophy built on one conviction. The leaders worth following are the ones who stopped performing and started asking. My case is that the question is the most underused tool in any leader's hands, and that everything changes the day you decide to pick up that tool. Everything you just heard from these guests is the reason the podcast exists. They keep proving the thesis in real time. Season 2 was, really in a way, me collecting the evidence in public. More on that influence soon. Before I tell you where I'm going, I need to say thank you, and I need to make it matter and for you to hear me. To every guest who gave me an hour and the truth, you made season 2. 31 of you trusted me with your story, and a lot of you said things out loud that you have not said before. I do not take that lightly. I am so grateful. To you, the listeners and the viewers, you turned a podcast show into a community. You wrote me. You argued with me. You sent episodes to that one person in your life who needed to hear that exact conversation. That is the whole point. That is kindness doing real work in the world. Let me tell you about 2 conversations from this season I have not been able to put down. I sat down with people I have worked beside for more than 20 years. A few of them actually directly reported to me once. All of them are people I call friends now. No one wanted to talk to us. No one wanted to sign new licenses because they thought Disney's going to come in and negate everything you did anyway.
And the existing licensees were the same way. They were like, we don't know what's coming up ahead of us. So
yeah, and we're in there like, oh, Greatest Showman's going to be great, and Love Simon's going to be great. And, we're like going to meetings, like Toy Fair and stuff, and people are like, these people are Delulu, right? They were like, what drugs is Fielding giving them?
This is not about me. Things are changing way beyond my control. Control the controllables, And so we could not control the politics that were happening at the Bob Iger level with the acquisition of Marvel. It's like any politics. I'll give you this or you give me that. Things were happening way outside of our scope.
Way out of our scope.
And so as painful as it was, I tried like heck to maintain. Look, I learned a lot. The gratitude, I learned a lot. I have a lot of relationships. I'm going to be fine. The most important thing I can do is be true to me.
They did something I did not anticipate. They told me what they carried out of our years working together and how they still use those learnings in the rooms they lead today. You spend a whole career hoping your work outlasts the moment you did it in. You almost never get to hear that it did. This season, I got to hear it out loud from people I love and respect. That is part of what I'm carrying into August. Now, the honest part and the update. I'm taking the rest of the month of August off. No new episodes of Ask for an Answer for 3 weeks. The newsletter goes quiet in this period too. I'm doing it to go right. My next book is due and it deserves my full attention. Saying that out loud is almost uncomfortable for me. I am wired to produce, to keep the lights on, and to be in the room. Stepping back from that feels like a little bit of a risk, but it's a calculated risk. Because I teach this. I tell leaders that rest is not the reward for the work. It is actually part of the work. Setting something down on purpose is a kindness. It's a kindness to self. To the work, so it gets the best of me. To myself, so there is a me left to give. I would be a fraud to preach this and never practice it. While I'm away, the conversation will not stop. It moves to the League of Radical Kindness. That is the community I built for exactly this. The people who want to keep doing the work in between the episodes. If you've been sitting on the fence, August is the month to come join us in that community. Visit leagueofradicalkindness.com to learn more or to sign up and join us. I will be there even when this mic is turned off. September 3rd, we come back. Season 3. If season 2 was about how we lead each other, season 3 raises the stakes. I am bringing you the authors, the speakers, and the leaders who are pushing the boundaries of what kindness can do and mean and how it can impact the world. People who are the best in the world at what they do and refuse to be cold or distant about it. I will give you one name to tease you. We will open the season with Adam Bryant. Adam has sat across from more chief executives than almost anyone alive, and he has spent a career studying what actually separates the leaders worth following and learning from. Starting the season with him, an award-winning author and New York Times journalist, tells you exactly where we are headed for season 3. So that's a wrap on season 2. Thank you for building it with me. Before I go, let me tell you why I really do this. This show feeds me. I am 61 years old and I'm still a student, constantly curious, still convinced the day I stop learning is the day I will start to shrink. Strip away the microphones and the edit and the release schedule, and what is left is the oldest thing we do. Human beings sitting close, telling each other true stories. We have been doing it since the first fire. I just get to point a camera at it and pass it on to you. Stay curious, keep learning, carry this into your personal August. And please remember, nice keeps the peace, kind changes the world. So go change something today. Keep smiling. I am in community and conversation with you always. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thanks for spending this time with us on Ask for an Answer. If this conversation sparks something for you, don't just nod and move on. Take one idea, one question, one uncomfortable and bring it into your next meeting, your next one-on-one, or your next big decision. That's how this becomes a practice, not just a podcast. If you're leading a team, a classroom, a company, or just your own next chapter, you don't have to have it all figured out. You do have to be willing to listen, to ask better questions, and to create the kind of safety where people will actually tell you what they see. If this episode was useful, share it with someone who's in the arena with you. And if you want more tools, stories, and real talk leadership moments, make sure you follow the show and leave a review so others can find us. I'm Jim Fielding. Thank you for being here, for leading with less armor and more intention. Until next time, stay curious, stay kind, and keep asking for an answer.